Ah yes, the serene and untouched beauty of the Pacific wilderness. Home to rare flora, elusive fauna and the North American trophy hunter. A solitary and chaotic species, known for its aggressive deforestation habits. And complete disregard for self-preservation. Observe as he attempts to communicate using primitive grunts and by throwing Molotov cocktails at the local inhabitants. Despite their intimidating appearance, the local cannibal tribes are in fact the prey. The trophy hunter, fueled only by energy drinks and an insatiable desire to 100% everything, is the natural predator. But beneath the chaos lies a singular motivation. The search for a missing child. Or perhaps just the platinum trophy. It's hard to tell with this one. Welcome back to another limb-devouring episode of Trophy Takedown. I swear it's only a few more arms left, just a few more. Today we are diving into the open world survival horror game The Forest. No, not that forest, this one. Set on a remote, heavily forested peninsula. And for everybody who doesn't know what a peninsula is, it's like an island but still attached to land in some way or another. That's basically it. In the game you play as Eric LeBlanc, a name you might never hear or read during your entire playthrough. Except maybe here and here. After surviving a brutal plane crash, Eric begins a desperate search for his son Timmy, who was kidnapped by a mysterious red-painted figure. And you'll be doing all that while fending off hostile, frequently unclothed locals who seem very opposed to you building your dream DIY vacation home. Yeah, they really need to relax. The Forest first emerged on Steam Early Access on May 30th, 2014, quickly capturing players' attention with its immersive gameplay and innovative AI behavior. 4 years later, on April 30th, 2018, the game saw its full release on Steam, followed by a PlayStation 4 launch on November 6th, 2018. Developed by End Night Games, a Vancouver-based indie studio, The Forest was brought to life by a small but experienced team with a background in visual effects. Ben Falcone, the founder, and Anna Tarakova, the co-founder, previously worked on blockbuster films like Tron Legacy and 300. And their cinematic experience definitely comes through in the game's careful balance of horror and beauty. For the horror elements, they drew inspiration from movies like The Descent and survival games such as Don't Starve. Despite the team's small size, they focus on delivering a high-quality player experience, emphasizing quick iteration and creative freedom. Unlike your typical survival game like Ark or Rust, where you step into a multiplayer server to get griefed for 1000 hours. The Forest is different. It's mainly a single-player experience with a foreseeable end. That's what makes it so unique. Because the peninsula and its cave systems aren't randomly generated, the developers had the freedom to craft a visually stunning environment and layer in a story you uncover through exploration. And even though the Forest is built around solo play, it does include a multiplayer mode, complete with the thing we wish for every day and dream of every night: multiplayer trophies. The Forest features a total of 38 trophies, including several that are exclusive to multiplayer, some that can only be earned in single player, and a few that are unfortunately buggy, regardless of how many players you are in your session. To earn the platinum, you will need to complete the game twice, which is also what most guides recommend. However, it is technically possible to complete the game once and then create a separate world to mop up the remaining miscellaneous multiplayer trophies. That approach can save a fair bit of time, skipping a second full run through caves and reducing the grind to recollecting the key items needed to finish the game again. But for that to work, you need to play a certain way until the end, and if the game has a bad day, you still need to go for a second run. The main guide on PSN Profiles, created by Shutachi, rates the game difficulty at a 2 out of 10, which is, as always, highly subjective. Just like in previous episodes, I'll be sharing my own thoughts on the difficulty and the overall trophy experience after we've finished the game. Now that we've got the basics covered, let's go over the plan. Here's the plan of attack. Stage 1. Complete the game and unlock creative mode. We'll begin by starting a single player world on normal difficulty, and most importantly during this first run, do not kill any animals. Our main focus here is unlocking all the cannibal related trophies early, while also making sure to collect at least 1 severed head and 9 bones in our inventory. These will be used later for the crafty trophy. It's also crucial at this point not to craft anything that can't be removed later. That includes bags and clothing items like boots. I'll explain why in more detail when we get to that trophy. Once we reach the final area of the game, we make sure to unlock all trophies tied to that section, so we don't have to backtrack later. After that, we can finish the game for the first time and unlock creative mode. Stage 2. Explore the caves. This stage is all about fully exploring the cave system, gathering every collectible inside and knocking out any cave specific miscellaneous trophies along the way. Stage 3. Explore the island. Once the caves are cleared, it's time to focus on the surface. Go through the island, collect everything above ground and unlock any miscellaneous trophies tied to landmarks or exploration. Stage 4. Crafty. Now it's time to tackle the crafty trophy and any others linked to crafting. By this point your inventory should be stocked with everything you need, so this step becomes much easier and more efficient. Stage 5. The multiplayer cleanup. Next, we'll hop into a multiplayer world to unlock the remaining 4 multiplayer exclusive trophies. This is also a great time to work on the chop down 1000 trees trophy, since cutting trees with multiple players is significantly faster than doing it solo. Stage 6. The long wait. If everything went smoothly up to this point, you should be down to just 2 remaining trophies, both of which can be completed AFK. With the game plan in place, grab your emergency axe and your backpack and let's go trophy hunting on this cannibal infested island. We start a new single player game on normal mode, and we find ourselves sitting in a plane next to our son Timmy, who's already knocked out while holding a survival handbook. Great prep, Timmy. Who knows what could possibly go wrong, right? Before we even get a chance to see if the book has enough pictures to keep us entertained, the plane suddenly loses power, starts shaking and crashes straight into the middle of nowhere. We wake up, barely, and see some dude covered in red paint, or blood, or whatever, casually picking up Timmy and walking off like he owns the place. Then we black out again. When we finally come to, the entire plane is empty. Not a single person left except the stewardess, who now has the infamous survival axe sticking out of her chest. We grab the axe, loot everything we can find, especially the passenger manifest, and of course make sure no clothing goes to waste. Now we are officially on the island. And from this point on, the story basically says good luck and lets you do whatever you want. But since we're here for the platinum, we've got a plan. First goal, head to the ledge cave to grab the climbing axe. Oh, and we're also going for the vegan trophy, so that means no killing animals and no chopping down trees. Because if a log accidentally crushes a squirrel, the trophy's gone. So yeah, watch your swings. Also, since the crash site is randomized, navigating early on might be a pain. If that's the case, here's the trick. Just die. Let the cannibals knock you out. They'll drag you to the hanging cave, where you can pick up the map and compass. And once you leave, congrats, you kinda know where you are. There. Now we're heading towards the ledge cave. And along the way we take out as many cannibals as we can for 2 trophies. Major cannibalism and choppy chop. Also while we're at it, make sure to down 1 cannibal and then finish them off with a rock for the splatter trophy. Okay, before we move on, the game doesn't save progress for certain trophies unless you get them in one sitting. Stuff like Choppy Chop, if you quit mid-progress, it resets. Some trophies are fine because they're either tracked in your survival guide or they don't need tracking at all, but just be aware if it's a grindy one and you quit, you're starting from 0 when you come back. Alright, PSA over, back to hunting. After slicing our way through more cannibals, we finally get to the ledge cave. We build a shelter, save the game, and rush to grab the climbing axe without dying in the process. Once that's secured, we head to this submerged cave entrance to grab the rebreather. This cave's nice and short, so we go ahead and explore the whole thing now just to get it checked off in the survival guide and save us a trip later. So also make sure to check off the 4 passengers and grab the toy part while you're down there. And maybe take the hairspray as well, since it's pretty strong against the mutants later. After resurfacing, our next stop is the lawyer cave to pick up the 3rd and final item we need to beat the game, the keycard. Honestly, it doesn't matter which entrance you take, they're all about the same distance to the keycard. So just pick the one you find first. Once you reach the drop with the keycard, be ready. There's an armsy down there who is not playing around. Luckily, it's weak to fire, so hit it with the old spray can and lighter combo, grab the keycard, maybe the camcorder while you're at it, and get out of there. Alright, now that we've got every item in our inventory, it's time to head straight to the bottom of the hole. There's a few ways to get down there. You could take the proper route through the sinkhole cave up north, fight your way through a bunch of cannibals and mutants, or skip all the nonsense and just jump straight to the bottom. I wasn't really in the mood for a brawl, so I took the cheap route. Just build a zip line across the gap and drop straight into the pool below. But be careful when gathering logs for it. You still can't kill animals for the vegan trophy, and falling trees can crush rabbits. I learned that the hard way. So yeah, maybe check the area before you start chopping. Once you're down there, keep an eye out, mutants are lurking. But before diving into the final area, swing by the crashed helicopter to grab the machete. It'll help carve through the enemies ahead. Now it's time. Rebreather on and we dive into the last cave. As we push forward, we'll run into more cannibals. By now we should be fully stocked with bones, so go ahead and craft some armor. You're gonna need it. Eventually, we reach a keypad locked door leading into the abandoned Sahara research facility. If you've been paying attention to the clues scattered across the island, which you probably didn't when you sprinted through, you'll know this place was built to study terminally ill children. Real uplifting stuff. We move deeper inside and start noticing missing posters of a girl named Megan, plus a bunch of toys and creepy drawings. Eventually, we reach the cafeteria, so naturally, we grab a soda, snack and coffee from the vending machine for 2 easy trophies. Oh, and don't forget to light a fire under the sprinkler system for a third single player only trophy. Good progress so far. Then we hit what looks more like a hospital wing, with tiny isolation rooms for each child. And yeah, things clearly didn't go well here. We find an article about some artifact that can supposedly bring back the dead. Not sure about that. But as we follow the train, we keep running into more of Megan's stuff. She's been everywhere. Offices, vents, and even behind walls it seems. Eventually we stumble into a lab with the artifact, and inside it is Timmy, spiked to death. Apparently the scientists were experimenting on kids to achieve eternal life, but instead they just turned them into horrific mutants. One of those mutants broke loose and killed Megan. After that, her father, Dr. Matthew Cross, tried to bring her back, using our child Timmy as a battery. Yeah, Matthew Cross is the red man from the beginning. Matt. How could you? Naturally, we try the same move. Hook Timmy up to the artifact, but it says it needs a live sample. So we follow the trail of bloody footprints and find Matthew himself, stabbed to death by crayons. Yeah, crayons. Guess Megan didn't came back the way he wanted. Anyway, following the trail leads us to a door with a bed in front. Use it to sleep and save. Seriously, save here. Restock snacks, drink your soda and gear up with full armor, because we now head inside a massive arena-like area. As we approach, we find her sitting there, blood in her mouth, holding a toy plane. I guess she knows how we got here. Then without warning, she starts twitching and seizing like she's about to bust out the sponge, and suddenly mutates into a massive spider-like monster. Time for a boss fight. She's weak to spears and fire, so chuck as many as you can. Make every throw count. You can also use the explosive containers scattered around the arena to stun her, which gives you a solid opening to land a few hits or regenerate if things get messy. Just keep chipping away until she finally goes down, and don't worry if you die, you respawn outside on the aforementioned bed. Once Megan's dead, we bring her body to the artifact, only for it to tell us again it needs a living sample. I mean, of course it does, I don't really know what we were thinking. But hey, Megan has another shinier keycard on her, which lets us go even deeper into the facility. We're not really sure what we're looking for at this point, but trophies I guess? We run through a bunch of broken down walls until we reach some creepy rooms filled with bodies. In one of them, there's a water dispenser with a head floating inside. Obviously, we drink from it. What we do for trophies. Eventually, we find an elevator that takes us to the top of the facility, and up there, another artifact. But this one doesn't bring people back, it brings planes down. Yep, that's how we crashed in the first place. Matthew saw our plane, needed a sacrifice and pressed the button. And now we get to make the same choice. Do we crash another plane and save Timmy, or shut it all down and let him go? I mean, we've come this far. The screen cuts to black 1 year later. Now we are with Timmy on a talk show retelling our survival story.
You've written a harrowing tale of survival and adventure with a plane crash. Look, you can see it on the cover.
Well, less telling and more nodding, but anyway. When they ask us to show off our tree chopping skills, Timmy suddenly has a seizure, just like Megan. But we barely manage to calm him down. Then, another time jump. We are now in Timmy's head. He's older, obsessed with finding the island again, and drinking lots of Molotov ingredients. We can see him still struggling with the mutations before he looks out the window and the game ends. If you've done everything right, 2 trophies should pop. 1 for finishing the game and 1 for finishing it without killing animals. Unless you were like me and accidentally chopped the tree in the wrong place. In that case, no worries, we'll clean it up later in creative mode. But for now, our job's not done. It's time to head back to the island. Now it's up to you how you want to tackle things. You can explore all the caves for the Spelunker trophy and pick up some other collectibles while you're down there, roam the island above ground to find all animals, plants and mushrooms, or knock the most tedious trophy out first, Crafty. I started with the caves, and if you haven't already, go grab the map and compass first. They are in the hanging cave right here. Trust me, having those makes the next part way easier. There are also 2 excellent websites that show all cave entrances, collectibles and layouts in full detail. I've linked them in the description, so use them as much as you need. While exploring, make sure you also collect all of Timmy's toy pieces, grab all found footage tapes and locate every plane passenger. Alright, so technically there are 9 caves you need to explore for the trophy, even though the survival guide lists 10. That's because the hanging cave is split into 2 sections. The submerged cave should already be checked off since we cleared it earlier for the rebreather. So A to go. This stage is pretty chill, but there's one important thing. Make sure you enter or exit every cave through a gap, like a rock crevice, not a rope hole. For some reason, those don't always count towards the trophy. Don't ask me why, it's just the forest being the forest. Oh wait, almost forgot. When you grab the compass, make sure to open and use it at least once to get the Boy Scout trophy. And if you find a little pond or water patch like the one in the lawyer cave, you can set up a wire trap nearby to, hopefully, kill 6 fish for the commercial fisherman trophy. Anyway, back to it. And there it is, the sweet sound of success. Now that all the caves are done, it's time to move on to the surface and take it from someone doing this for the second time. Do the easy trophies first, before you even think about starting Trophy Hunter. Because as I mentioned earlier, that one resets every time you leave the game. Yeah. So let's start with the fun ones. There are 9 miscellaneous trophies, 6 of which are single player only. And since we unlock creative mode, we can just hop into a separate creative world to make some trophies much easier. So let's blast through them. Longest wall. Just place blueprint for a super long wall. That's it. Fisherman. Head to any pond, grab a spear, some are lying around, and catch a fish. 5-star hotel. Sleep on the yacht, located right here on the map. Bite me. While you're already at the yacht, look for a shark. There are a few ways to kill one. Build a platform and use wire traps. Use arrows or throwables, or do what I did, somehow manage to use my axe underwater. Still no idea how that worked, so good luck. You can also do this in creative mode to make your life a bit easier. Monster. Kill a bunny. Either hit it with a weapon or catch it in a trap and end it manually. Bird's eye. Shoot a bird with a bow and arrow. Just make sure you remove the bow from your inventory before doing the crafty trophy, or save this one for afterward. Handyman. Repair a damaged hunting shelter. Make sure damage is turned on in the game settings. Same deal as above, remove the repair tool before doing crafty, or save this one for later. Demolition expert. Place a wire trap next to 6 trees and then step into it. And yes, you are the test dummy. You should be looking for Timmy. Place the blueprint for a gazebo and build it. Preferably in creative mode, using your infinite supplies. With all the easy stuff out of the way, we are down to the last 3 major trophies on the surface. Get closure. You probably already found most of the plane passengers while cave diving, but 2 final clusters are left, here and here. Now only the 2 painful trophies are left. You Are a Fun Guy, where we have to eat all 6 types of mushrooms, and Trophy Hunter, where we have to display all 11 severed animal heads. Quick reminder, you have to do both in a single session, meaning don't quit the game. You can save, you can die, and you can respawn. That's all fine. Just don't close the game or return to the main menu, or your progress will reset. The mushrooms are random and scattered all over the island, so just keep an eye out for them while you're running around hunting animals. Now for the Trophy Hunter grind. You need to find and mount the heads of 11 animals in total. And remember, you don't need to place all the heads on the same wall. Just build a small one wherever you find the animal and slap the trophy on. The lizard, rabbit, squirrel and raccoon can all be caught using animal traps. Just build a bunch of traps in different spots and check them from time to time. Raccoons are a bit tricky though, they usually show up at night, so keep that in mind. Deer and boars can be found running around the forest, but boars are way more common in the snowy area up north. Head there and keep moving, you will spot one eventually. And don't forget to skin every animal you kill, you'll need those skins later. The tortoise, seagull and shark are all found at the beach. Tortoises and seagulls are easy, just walk along the shore and you'll find plenty. As for the shark, technically you can kill one fresh in the water, but it'll sink to the bottom and becomes unreachable. So the easiest method is to head to the southern beach, where a bunch of dead sharks are already washed up. Just take a head from one of those and mount it. Problem solved. Crocodiles spawn around the muddy center area of the island, especially near water. Just run around there and one will eventually lunge at you out of nowhere. And finally, the goose. Easily the most annoying one if you don't know what you're doing. They only spawn at this lake right here, and you've got maybe 10 to 20 seconds before they fly away. If you kill them in the water, you can't get the head, so you need to hit one as it's flying over land. So go right here and use a spear or a bow. Just make sure you've already done the crafty trophy or plan to do it in the same session, since both items count towards it. For better odds, you can also build a platform over the water to give yourself more surface area. And if you mess up, no big deal, just dive into the lake, enter and exit through the underwater cave entrance and it'll respawn the geese so you can try again. And with that, stage 3 is complete. And now for the moment we've all been waiting for. The worst trophy in the game, crafty. For this one, we need to craft everything the game lets you craft. And the catch? You have to do it all in one sitting. That means everything you crafted before, yep, it doesn't count. It all has to be done again in one uninterrupted session. And as if that wasn't enough, this trophy is also buggy. But for once, it's buggy in our favor. most players reported unlocking early, meaning you might not have to craft every single item on the list. Now from that list, the warm suit is easily the worst one to make. It requires a bunch of different animal skins, which can take forever to gather. So I recommend saving that one for last. You might get lucky and not even need it for the trophy. This is also a good time to make a backup save just in case something goes wrong. That way, if the trophy doesn't pop or something bugs out, you won't have to grind for all the materials again. While you're crafting, you can also knock out 2 side trophies. Unseen for crafting and equipping stealth armor, and Naturopath for crafting 10 medicine items. Once you finally finish this menace of a trophy, grab your pouch, collect some blueberries and plant them in a garden along with the other 2 seed types to grab the green thumb trophy as well. And with that, the most annoying part of the forest is finally done. Hooray! Now it's time to grab a friend, a second console or whatever you've got lying around, because we've got 4 multiplayer trophies to take care of. And if your co-op partner is feeling extra generous, we'll also knock out Don't Save the Forest while we're at it. Start by creating a new multiplayer save and inviting your second player. All 4 trophies can be completed right at the plane crash site. First, grab the tin tray from the wreckage, combine it with a soda or snack and offer it to the other player. Then do the same but with a weapon. Any weapon will do. That's 2 trophies down already. Next, build a shelter or head to a tent and sleep together. In game of course. And finally, time to revive a player 10 times. For this, make sure PvP is turned on in the game settings. Then take turns killing and reviving each other until it pops. Doesn't get simpler than that. Now technically you could stop here, but if you want to get all the trophies, I highly recommend teaming up for the Don't Save the Forest trophy. This one requires you to chop down 1000 trees in one sitting. Yep, no breaks, just you and Mother Nature having it out. But thankfully, instead of manually cutting down every single tree, you can start a creative multiplayer save and both of you can build explosive wire traps near tree clusters. When you walk into them, they blow up and take the trees with them. With 2 players using this method, you can get through all 1000 trees in under an hour. And there it is, the forest is gone, your sanity might be 2, but the trophy is yours. And by now there should be only 2 trophies left. If you messed up like I did, now's the perfect time to knock out the vegan trophy in a fresh creative save. Just speedrun through the caves, grab the rebreather, climbing axe and keycard, then jump straight down to the sinkhole. Shouldn't take more than 20 minutes. With that out of the way, only the AFK trophies remain, so go back to your original save and get ready for Stepmaster and Bad Father. And by get ready, I mean build yourself a little cage, rubber band your controller stick and let your character run in circles. Because these 2 trophies require at least 40 hours of non-stop in-game running. Yep, just leave your console on and go live your life. Or whatever normal people do when they're not chasing trophies. Eventually, after 50,000 steps and 100 in-game days survived, you'll finally earn the one, the only Platinum Trophy. Congratulations, you survived, you conquered, you beat the forest. All in all, I have to say, the forest was a surprisingly fun game. And aside from the fact that you have to do the most annoying trophies in one sitting, the trophy list itself really isn't that bad. We've got some story trophies, some fun miscellaneous challenges, a few single player only ones for some reason, and of course the ever beloved multiplayer only trophies. The only real outlier is the vegan trophy, because let's be honest, most of us are going to have to run through the game again, just to grab that one. But hey, at least we can use creative mode. In total, the game took me about 65 hours to complete, though to be fair, 50 of those were just AFK, so not exactly the best playtime to gameplay ratio if you ask me. As for playthroughs, it's a bit messy since it's an open world survival game, but if I had to break it down, you'll probably need about 2.5 playthroughs. One to unlock creative mode, a quick run for vegan, and at least one more save for the multiplayer trophies and some miscellaneous. So yeah, hope that math checks out. Now for the difficulty rating, and this one's tough. The guide on PSN profiles gives it a 2 out of 10, and while I get it, nothing here is mechanically difficult, it's frustrating at times. Between a few bugs and crashes that made the dreaded one session only trophies last even longer, it's not always a smooth ride. Since I already gave Poppy Playtime Chapter 1 a 2 out of 10, I'm bumping this one up to at least a 3 out of 10, maybe even a 4 in terms of frustration. Not because it's hard, just because it wears you down. And that's pretty much it. There's only one version of the game, the PS4 one. The sequel, Sons of the Forest, hasn't made it to consoles yet, and who knows if it ever will. Still, the Forest is a great little addition to the wall. I'd absolutely recommend it, especially if you can snag it on sale for around €5, or whatever currency you use. If you've made it this far, huge thanks for watching. Got feedback, ideas for future episodes, drop a comment, I always read them. And with that said, until next time, and happy hunting.